Hey guys, Professor Benson here. Just wanted to walk through this Select from Nobel tutorial on SQLZoo. So I previously recorded a video doing the Select from World. I will link to that below. Do that one before you do this one. This one is going to work through their database of Nobel Prize winners that I believe goes up through 2015. And we're just going to go through and walk through these. A couple of these at the end, 13 through 16 are tougher. But we'll go through, most of these are just using a select, to query and extract data. Notice over here that there are three fields in our table: year, subject, and winner. I would have called it name, but this is the name of the person who won the prize that year. And notice that year is spelled YR. The column name or field name is that name. And so that's a very common, in fact, you might even see me make a mistake with that and spell it out YEAR. So let's go ahead and do, so this one says select year, subject, winner from Nobel, where year is equal to 1960. Okay, and they want it to be 1950. Well, that's easy enough. We just change this and hit submit. So that is pretty easy. Okay, similar down here, all we have to do is change, here we need to change the year to be 1962. And then the prize from physics to literature. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Year is 1962. And subject is equal to literature. I'm just going to go ahead and copy that. Okay. And then remember, this is always in single quotes, not double quotes for whatever reason. Okay. So John Steinbeck, he probably won that for Grapes of Wrath. You probably also read Of Mice and Men. So now this one we're going to have to type in, but we want to see when Albert Einstein won his Nobel Prize. I'm actually going to include his name. Notice that it actually does not ask for his name, but let's just go ahead and type that in. Select winner, year, subject from Nobel, where winner is equal to, I'm just going to go ahead and copy that over. So that was a double click, and then on a Mac or on a PC you do shift and the right arrow. I believe it's the same on a Mac. Okay, so it's saying too many columns. So he won the prize in physics, as we knew. I didn't know it was 1921, but they don't want us to list his name. That's silly, but that's what they want. And so now I do that and we get the smiley face. Okay, perfect. Right, so now we're going to go down to recent Peace Prizes, and we'll see since the year 2000 and including 2000. So I'm just going to go ahead and type this in, select. They just want the name. I'm going to actually put all of it and say the year and subject from Nobel. Okay, where subject is equal to peace. And year is greater than or equal to 2000. So because that's a number, no quotes are needed. Oh, and see, it's not name, it's winner. Okay, so we've got Kofi Annan and the United Nations in 2001, Jimmy Carter. So Mohammed Yunus is the founder of the Grameen Bank. They do a lot of micro-lending starting in, I think, Bangladesh. Al Gore. Okay, so down. So it looks like this goes up through 2017. Okay, and now it says too many columns, so it only wants the name. So I'm just going to put this should do it. Okay. So again, you can copy and paste this here, and I would. And then if I ask for this on a quiz, then you will usually also have to select this and stick it in as well. Okay. Okay, number 5. Show all the details of the literature prize for 1980 to 1989 inclusive. So when they use the word inclusive, that means it's going to include both 80 to 89, and it also signals they probably want us to use the between operator. So we can do this one of two ways. So I'm just going to say, we'll just copy that. So I'm going to say select, okay, from Nobel. Okay, where subject is equal to literature, and I'm going to do at first using the greater than equal to, which is what I normally do. Year is greater than equal to 1980, and remember it has to be just the YR, and year less than equal to 1989. Okay. So that should give it to us. Now notice it's already sorted by year. That's kind of the default. Now, the way that it wants us to do this is to do and year between 1980 and 1989. Okay, so if I ask for you to use the between operator, this is what I mean. Notice it's a little bit, I mean, you only have to type year once, and it also includes, the between is inclusive, so it includes 1980 and 1989. So we'll just go down. Okay. So this one, number 6 wants us to find all of the presidents who won a Nobel Prize. Now we'll have to see if it's Thomas Woodrow Wilson or just Woodrow Wilson. But they want us to use an in. So I'm just actually going to modify this. We don't need the year. Okay, and the winner is, all right, I'm going to do Theodore Roosevelt. Let's try Thomas Woodrow Wilson to see if that is correct. Jimmy Carter. I'm surprised they would have put it in. His official name is James. And Barack Obama. Now I just need to go in and add the quotes. So let's put this quote, 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 Barack Obama. Okay, so let's just go ahead. I believe his name was Woodrow Wilson. Thomas might have been his middle name. Okay, so I don't know why they have that, but that is an error. That is a mistake there that they've got. But there were 4. So Jimmy Carter won it in 2002, and Barack Obama in 2009. Okay, on to number 9. Show the winners who have a first name John. So we're going to want to use the wild card, and remember that the wild card is the percentage sign. So we're going to do select. I'm going to do all of them. So I'm going to do, it only wants the winners. So I'm going to put winner, year, subject. Well, actually, let's just keep it as winner. From Nobel, where winner like, and we want John. Okay. So this one says it has to begin with John. So if their last name were Johnson, this wouldn't count. Okay, so John Steinbeck, all the way to John Poliani. Okay. So that is what we have right there. Now, if I said it has to, so this says it has to begin with John, and then can have anything else after that. Notice that if your name were Jonathan and there were no H there, this would miss that. And then let's just, for kicks and giggles, let's just put, if I say it has to end with John. Now this also can mean anything, so it probably will actually keep all the Johns. So like, because this asterisk can also say, hey, be blank. If I put that. Oh, this says it has to end with John. Okay, so if we have, okay, so like, so here's St. John, Sir John. So we would have wanted that to pick that up, or I would have. Okay, and then like here's Ellen Johnson. Okay, now chemistry and physics from different years. Okay, so this one, we're going to want to kind of combine these different parts together. So it says select year, subject, and name. So let's do select year, subject, winner. Okay, so we want physics from 1980. So from Nobel, where, okay, subject is equal to physics, and year is equal to 1980. So I'm just going to run that. Okay. And then the next part, I'm going to put these in parentheses so that it's easier for humans to see that those go together. And then I'm going to put an or and say there I want subject equal to chemistry and year is equal to 1984. Okay, so there were two Nobel Prize winners for physics in 1980 and then one for chemistry in 1984. I don't think this is actually going to matter. I think if I delete these, that internally the computer's going to treat these as if they are together. So if I go ahead and run that, in fact, I'm going to change this to 1983 just to see what happens. Okay, so we should have 1980 and then 1983. So internally, the software is putting those kind of parentheses together, like it's treating that or as a big separator. But I am going to, okay, so now I need to change this back to 1984. So I think of those as two separate clauses, right, which says, hey, I want physics for 1980 and I want chemistry for 84. Okay, but I don't want physics from 84. Okay. Now this one says exclude chemists and then medicine. Okay, so I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy this because it's always from Nobel. So our first one is going to just say, hey, where we want everything from 1980. Okay, so it's sorted by year and then by subject and then by name. I think Frederick Sanger has won 2 or 3 Nobel Prizes, actually. He's kind of a famous chemistry guy at MIT. Okay, so so they want us to exclude medicine and exclude chemistry. Okay, so we're going to end up saying and subject not in. Okay, where subject, okay, let's see. And so we could do this one of two ways. We could do and let's see, subject. So if I did not equal to chemistry, that should drop off the chemistry. I don't need those in parentheses, but it drops off the chemistry, and I could put and subject not in medicine. And the capitalization doesn't matter, I don't think, here. Okay, so that's going to be correct. Okay, now notice that I'm doing and I don't want it in chemistry or medicine. And normally we'd say I don't want it in. Normally I would filter these out after the fact, or I would just select the ones that I wanted. But the other way to do it is to use a list, and so then we would say and subject. So normally you'd say in chemistry. Well, that's the way we've done this so far in medicine. I don't know why I always capitalize the M and not the chemistry. So let's just make sure I've got. So that's just the chemistry, and so the opposite of in is not in. Okay, so this one also is correct and works. They're both, I don't like these nots, the not in, that sometimes makes it a little more difficult, but that's where that is. Okay. And then let's see, so this one says show names here, everyone who won a medicine prize in early years but before 1910, and then those after. So I'm just going to go ahead and, in fact, I'm going to grab, this is very similar to number 8. So we'll just modify the clauses. So we want medicine for early, or subject is equal to medicine. I'm just going to copy that. Oops. Copy. Paste. Okay. And year is, they don't want it to include it, so they want it before 1910 and exclude 1910. And then they want those after 2004, but including it. So, or subject is equal to literature, and year is greater than equal to, remember the alligator points to the one that's greater, to the larger one. So it's greater than or equal to 2004. Okay. So here's all the ones, so the earliest one they have here is from 1901, and then here they've got it from 4, 5, all the way up through 17. So 17 is the latest year that they have. Okay. Okay, so these last three are harder. On this one, what they want us to do is that they have this Peter Grünberg, and he's got, I think that's called an umlaut, and they want us to grab these non-ASCII characters. I have never had much success with that so I would normally, if it were me, just sort of look by Peter. But I'm going to show you what we'll do is we'll just use a wild card there for that U. So what let's do is let's just say we'll go up here and select everything. Okay. And then we'll say where, winner, like, and I'm going to do Peter. So we could just do Peter and then a wild card, or let's do Peter GR, wild card, and BERG. Okay, and that gives us just him. I believe we can use an underscore as just a single character. Okay, whereas the percentage sign says there could actually be a whole bunch of characters there. Okay, but so that is the way I would do that one. And then let's go down here. The apostrophe wants us to use an escape, is what they call it. And so what you do is you end up doing, you put 2 single quotes. So we're going to say that from Nobel, where winner is equal to, and so I'm going to put Eugene, okay, and now I'm going to put twice, NEILL, single quote. Okay, so this escape quote, this first quote, so if I put 2 single ones together, essentially what it's telling it is I can now look for a single quote within a name. That is a trick. I do not believe it works if I put like a regular, that's a regular double quote, like closing a quote. So that's not going to grab anything. If I just end it here, that's not going to grab anything either, because it's going to say, hey, we're not grabbing, you've got to have 2 of them together. So there you go, and that does it. So this one, okay, so this one wants us to do an ordering. And so what it wants us to do, grab everything. So let's just go grab everything. Okay, where the first name is Sir, or name like Sir. Okay, so that's going to grab everything starting with Sir, or winner. Okay, so that one, now what they want is to order by year and then by name order. So now we're going to use this order by, so I would have thought they'd use sort, but they use this thing called order. And now if I do it by order by year, this is going to do it, this is going to sort it. Ascending is the default, so you do AS, it's like ascending. So you have to do, I think, ASC. Okay, and then, but actually that's the default. We want descending. So that's going to put the newest year first, and then when we have the same years, then we want, then by name order. Okay, so order by year descending, and then winner. And I could put ascending just to show that it's, but let's see. Winners, year, subject, show the most recent first, then by name order. I'm going to just try this. That should have been right. Let's just see if it wants. From Nobel, where winner like Sir. Okay, order by year descending, winner ascending. Okay, so they want, so do they want it by name or by this subject next? Okay, so let's just do, maybe it wants it year, subject, winner, or not year, subject, winner, winner, year, subject. So let's do winner, year, subject. Okay, who knew? Nothing else fundamentally had changed. So you'll want to follow his video. This video down here is only 5 minutes long, and it's very, very good in explaining it. But he says it works in Microsoft SQL Server, but apparently it doesn't anymore. It only works in MySQL. So let's go ahead. If we go up to the top up here, there's this little gear engine. And you can say, hey, which SQL engine do you want to use? And the default we've been using thus far is Microsoft SQL Server. We're going to switch it to MySQL. And so now when I go down, now it's going to run it. And so here's what it's doing. It's giving us a yes, no, or a true, false. They call it a Boolean statement. But it's giving us a true, false statement to say whether this subject is in chemistry or physics. So obviously it's a 1 for chemistry, and then it's a 1 for physics down here. And what they're going to do is use this little 0, 1 to sort, because what they want to do is put have this sorted alphabetically, subject alphabetically, with the exception that they want it to go economics, literature, medicine, peace, and then they want chemistry and physics to be at the end. So really what they want to do is sort by these zeros and then by the ones. They're going to put the zeros first and then the ones last. So here's the way we do it is now we're going to sort by, let's do subject in. So we're going to say order by subject in. Okay, so we want the zeros first, okay, and then the subject. So then we want it to go chemistry, economics, literature, and so on. Okay, and then we want it to go by the name of the winner. So now if I do that, now I've got, economics, literature, medicine, so on, and so chemistry and physics are last, and so we've got medicine, and we want it to go sort by these last names. Oh, we want it, so it's not sorting by the last name, it's sorting by the first name. So Cesar, George, and Niels, they want that in order. So we've got that now, and so now the only thing it's saying is we only want the winner and the subject. So we don't want the year, and then we don't need this subject in. Okay, and that's what it's going to give us. So that is how to do this one. I'm going to go ahead and stop that one right there, but this is how you do this is the select from Nobel. Thanks.